the first to know in Nsem-Pii TV.
Oliver Gh10m a convener at the Emma fix the country and our face so assign so a leader at the Occupy Jolobi House protest. Eno etimi eba so na enye asem kotoa na de nti na oye protest ni nyina ne se o se oman Ghana se won antimi ansore a oman no ebetimi agensanu ene no nam so ma otimi boaboa mmabunu ano ekobo chenku ewo Jubilee House eno kra nam so ma police timi chichi bi enom ne ade na enya asem kotoa na after that no na Oliver etimi a friend semtwerefo na ode eto won anim se enye nwanwa mpo se yetimi achichi ebinom na sa demonstration we otimi ehya ase no otimi ene national security minister yura Albert Dapaah ehia na Dapaah ese onje $1 million na sa demonstration fix the country ene occupy Jolobi House no me diaka opese oyeka ho nyina onje nanka ontimi enyai we nyina nanso ose Ghana ho donti ena ade se ono etimi giska no otimi ejai sa na ma we nyina no wie ena ode etaato se sen asem no ono Oliver Gh10m eka no se Ghana fo enim se oboa ono edi audio ebeba abetaato na Ghana fo ehun se asem no ono Oliver Gh10m eka no eye no kre se na security minister national security minister man $1 million say on fan na de emu ho about this demonstrations ahodo ono etimi eye nyina na Albert Dapaah so etimi ete asem no na on September 26 2023 otimi etabiri yewura Oliver Gh10m etimi ede no kokopie mu ewo eye de Accra High Court na oka kire Accra High Court say Oliver Gh10m etimi agunanim ase enya asem kotoa because nsem no oka nyina kra emi basis bia enti wagu ne ho fi enti court no enhwe na ontimi enslapo Oliver Gh10m $10 million Ghana cedis emfama no se ebubo Oliver de court no enje $10 million Ghana cedis emfa emano na otimi afale edikokopie mu suit no ekokopie mu ewo court no 2 months na Oliver Gh10m entimi ma abonten ema me responde aside that no ontimi so ankopie mu ewo court ewa bra court etimi eto ne nsa etimi ede frɛ no na kyerɛ sɛ watimi mpo abu court no eninti anano na yewura Albert Dapaah lawyers etena asesa no say my lord ye de asem no ebeto wanim 2 months ani mpo watonsa etimi de afre Oliver Gh10m so ena ade se ono etimi eba bepie mu wa ha na eno ena ne lawyers edito judge no otena abanyam no se senka ebetimi his lordship Joseph Adu Owusu Ajiman enka ontimi embua asem no because asem ni bedi ho ya twe Oliver twe ompese obeba bepie mu ewo court nti se sa ena timi tie de ena court no embua asem no no ena his lordship Joseph Adu afei de utimi eto ne nsafre Oliver Gh10m ena utimi eba bepie mu ewo court no bepie mu court no ena nkotodwe fom nsada nsayem opa court no eche se osere court na omfa ne bone nche no se wantimi ama mepie mu ewo ho eye 2 months ni nyina enti court no emfa ne bone nche no na ma ombua asem no ma final judgment ete se de yewura Albert Dapaah lawyers etimi edeba betu edwa te se de na won eka no no ena his lordship Joseph Adu Owusu Ajiman ehwe Oliver Gh10m kwan a wafa so abu nkotodwe ani de wa wasi bi aye nanim ni oti nisuo na oka chense se sa na tie de ene men tie te se de national security ministers lawyers edeba beto no minimum 2 weeks 2 good weeks se etu ho na se wa boaboa ho ama mepie mu ewo court na ye ntimi anhyase andi asem ne de ene se ne Albert Dapaah lawyers edeba beto manim no enya ade se me his lordship Joseph Adu Owusu Ajiman metimi ehwe o mercy nti 2 weeks time brane be piem wo court wa na ye ni wa asem enya sa de a de mmara no ebeto baabi a eda.
Okay. Article 125. Put it on the screen. Let's read together. Justice emanates from the people of God. No, I was looking for the sovereignty emanates from the people. Can I see that, please? Put that on. Sovereignty emanates from the people of Ghana. That's the article I was looking for. Yeah, very important. The one you made me read is too long. What's this? In a spirit of friendship. Why is the sovereignty emanates from the people of Ghana? We, in the name of Almighty God, we, the people of Ghana, in exercise of our natural and inalienable right to establish a framework of government which shall secure for ourselves and posterity the blessings. Okay, let's move on. Let's see the next one. In a spirit of friendship and peace with all peoples of the world, and in solemn declaration. Yes, it's here. Okay. Freedom, justice, accountability. The principle that all powers of government spring from the sovereign will of the people. The principle of universal adult suffrage. Okay, so let's stay with that. The second part. This is all I wanted. Yes, so the last part. Viewers, let's have a look at it. Freedom, justice, probity, and accountability. The principle that all powers of government spring from the sovereign will of the people. Okay, come back to me. So that's what the preamble of the Constitution is. All powers of government spring from the will of the people. So anybody who is exercising a power of the government, that power that has been given to him springs out of the will of the people. Let's go to the judicial article now. You see it repeated there, the will of the people. Let's go to that very quickly. Okay, so that's Article 125 of the Constitution. We're still talking about Kissi Agyapong's excesses and wanton disregard for law. That's what we're talking about. The special prosecutor, his excesses and his wanton disregard for law and his disregard for any forum that will ventilate the things he does. When a forum is created by the Constitution to ventilate the things he does, he says, I don't like it. That's what he says. He's dangerous to judiciary. He's dangerous to democracy. Kissi Agyapong is so dangerous to democracy. Now have a look at this. Justice emanates from the people and shall be administered in the name of the Republic by the judiciary, which shall be independent and subject only to this Constitution. Let's read it again. It says, justice emanates from the people and shall be administered in the name of the Republic by the judiciary, which shall be independent and subject only to this Constitution. That's what it says. The justice is emanating from the people. It will be exercised by the judiciary. But when Kissi Agyapong does something and the judiciary says what you did is wrong, then he goes to hold a press conference. He's crying. He goes to hold a press conference, tell journalists that there will be corruption in Ghana because he wants to resign. He should resign and be investigated. And I'll tell you why he will be investigated. And the things that he's doing there, why he should be investigated. Today I'm coming with everything. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Article 1253. The judicial power of Ghana shall be vested in the judiciary. Accordingly, neither the president, nor parliament, nor any organ or agency of the president or parliament or a Kissi Agyapong who is special prosecutor shall have or be given final judicial power. Viewers, have you seen that? This is the Constitution that they are teaching the students. It says that no one shall be given final judicial power except the judiciary. The president cannot constitute himself into a court and make a decision. So that means that whatever decision the president makes is subject to one last authority, which is the judiciary, if a Ghanaian feels that he has been aggrieved and he wants to check it. It's subject to that. For the president, for the parliament, for everyone. Everyone is subject to that. Kissi Agyapong says he's not subject to that. Kissi Agyapong, he doesn't want to be subject to that. So he thinks that there's something very, very wrong with the judiciary coming to do their work. And so he knows the judges don't do press conferences. He goes to sit down and do a press conference. You go to see Cecilia Dapaah's money. No problem. The law allows you to do that. Cecilia Dapaah goes to court and says the circumstance under which he sees the money is wrong. That's not what the law asks him to do. The court agrees with Cecilia Dapaah at the high court level. You can go to Court of Appeal if you want. Then you can go to the Supreme Court if you want. He doesn't do that. He agrees and says, Cecilia Dapaah, okay, come back for your money. You give the money, then as if he's doing a film. 3 minutes later, he says, come back, I've seized it. Cecilia Dapaah goes to court again. Then he goes to court and says, no. I have arrested the process. I'm going to the Supreme Court in an interlocutory application to the Supreme Court. You go to the Supreme Court and he doesn't show up in court. Every day there's court. He's in China. He's in New York. Ask him. The journalist should have asked him whether he was in the Supreme Court building that day. whether he was there, whether he appeared before the judges. That's the questions the journalist should have been asking him. That did he appear before the judges? He comes to make this one-time cry-baby situation, and then it's all over media. The office of the special prosecutor says something. Office of the special prosecutor says he doesn't want to come under Article 125 of the Constitution. He is above the law. That's what he's saying. That he is above the law. So when he has done something, nobody should complain about it. Is that the Ghana that we're building from 1992? When we're running away from guns in 2000 as journalists, Kissi Agyabin was not there. Then he comes and says that I am the boss of the Constitution. The Constitution that so many people have fought after. Very soon we'll be burying Uncle Shea, Nsem-Pii, people like that. They fought for this Constitution so that there will be fairness, so that there will be balance, so that the judiciary will have the final authority in judicial matters. That neither the president nor parliament nor any other organ shall have the final say in judicial matters. Kissi Agyabin says that he should have the final say because he is office of the special prosecutor. So when he does something, the Supreme Court shouldn't say anything. He goes to the Supreme Court to make an argument. Supreme Court begin hearing the matter and they are challenging, asking questions of him. And then he withdraws the matter. The Supreme Court didn't even have the opportunity to rule on the matter. He himself withdrew the matter. Then he goes to hold a press conference that judges are after me. Judges are against. I want to show you the videos of some of the things he said. That judges, somebody told me that judges are after me. I'll deal with it. All right, let's move on. So you have now seen why he's wrong. He's wrong because the Constitution says the judiciary shall have the final authority. And we have lived with this Constitution for 30 years. He says that because he sees somebody's property, and the Constitution says you cannot do that, then it means that the Constitution is fomenting corruption. And that without him, Ghana will be a corrupt society. Can you imagine that? Is it delusions of self-grandeur? I shouldn't say that. Maybe it's delusions of self, get some deluded something. Because how can you, Office of Special Prosecutor, think that you are above the law? So you are going to hold a press conference. That's really what he was telling the journalist. His press conference was to tell the journalist that he's above the law. That's what he was saying. And nobody asked him that, Mr. President, what are you talking about? You went to court and lost the case, and therefore there will be corruption in Ghana. You went to court over the processes that you are undertaking. I'm going to give you a lot more. Now, they gave me this, but let me read it anyway, because I've made the point already. Chief Justice John Marshall in Marbury and Madison emphasized the role of the judiciary hundreds of years ago. He said it is emphatically the duty of the Judicial Department of State, this is the judiciary, to say what the law is. That those who apply the rule to particular cases must of necessity expound and interpret the rule. He said it is the role of the judges to interpret the rule. This is what the rule is. This is what the Act of Special Prosecutor says. This is what Kissi Agyabin did. Any Ghanaian can go to court and present it to court that the Special Prosecutor investigated me was wrong. Now let's see what the court said about the Colonel Dapaah matter. Let's see what the court said about the Colonel Dapaah matter. It'll show me that this is one of the things Kissi Agyabin is complaining about. The La Bianca, so-called La Bianca situation. The story says, High Court quashes OSP's report implicating Colonel Dapaah in La Bianca. This Kissi Agyabin doesn't want that. Kissi Agyabin doesn't want this one. He wants the law says the article says the High Court quashes OSP reports. Now, this is a problem, you see, because Africa has had these difficulties where our democracy and our governance is focused on some men who feel that they are very powerful. And it's referred to former presidents, coup leaders and all that. And that's why I say Kissi Agyabin is very dangerous. He's so dangerous that he's thinking of himself as some little god who has arrived and who must have power over the judiciary. We have had how many presidents in the Fourth Republic? 6 or so, 7 times there have been different kinds of presidents, but there are 3 of them. J.J. Rawlings, Professor Mills, J. Kufuor, John Mahama, Nana Akufo-Addo. All of them have been subservient to the judicial processes. Akufo-Addo has lost cases in the court. Put that on. I'll come back to this. Put that on. Akufo-Addo has lost cases in the court, hasn't he? Akufo-Addo wrote letters to remove Dom. Which one is this? Professor P.J. Etua versus the Attorney General. Yes, the Supreme Court ruled that the Imposition of Restrictions Act 2020 was unconstitutional. Akufo-Addo imposed Restrictions Act under COVID. Somebody went to court against the Attorney General. The person won the case. In instance, they look at the Dom level matter. I sat here and supported the decision of the president to get Dom level out. The Supreme Court came back and said that it was wrong. The Supreme Court held that the forced retirement of the Auditor General ran contrary to the Constitution. That's what the Supreme Court is about. The Constitution, the Republican Constitution, fidelity to the Constitution. So this is in respect of the president. Most of those judges who gave this ruling were appointed by the president, but that doesn't matter. because we are building a democracy. It doesn't matter. They ruled against the president. They ruled against His Excellency. They said, no, Mr. President, this one you are wrong. That's the society that we are building. Kisi Ajabi says that he is not in that category where when he does something, the court can look at it. The court shouldn't look at it. And if they look at it and they think what he did was wrong, then the court is against him and there will be corruption in Ghana. Who does he think he is? Does he drink water? Who does he think he is? That because he is special prosecutor, when he gives a ruling, the court shouldn't say anything about it. And then he collects journalists together and tells them this hogwash, this total hogwash. That's what he told the journalists, that he's above the law. That's what he said. I mean, he's lucky that if he held this press conference in 1998, he would have seen the questions that the journalists would have asked him. Because we would have been there to ask him questions. What are you talking about? Do you mean that you are above the law? And nobody asked him that. He goes to cry in front of journalists and pretends to the general public that he's some messiah trying to resolve our corruption issues of 100 years, and the judiciary is frustrating him, so the general public should rise up against the judiciary. Is he all right? Is he really all right? Kisi Ajabi, is there something wrong with him? I mean, I cannot understand this. This is the president losing cases. Because of these things, where Africa's democracy always fails, because we don't focus on institutions, and we focus on some people. Some people think that they are some grand people. Barack Obama arrived here in 2009. I was in the conference center. I don't know where Kisi Ajabi was in 2009. You should ask him. But I was in the conference center when Obama made this statement. It registered in my head. I've never forgotten about it. This is what Barack Obama said.
Africa doesn't need strong men. It needs strong institutions. Africa doesn't need strong men. It needs strong institutions. Africa doesn't need strong men. It needs strong institutions. Africa doesn't need strong men. It needs strong institutions.